Hey,
Hey,
Joe.
hey, I am so sorry. I didn't even see
No,
this
no,
on my
don't worry.
calendar.
I was
My
just
bad.
writing an email actually saying that I'm super excited to talk. I'm a big fan, and we probably need to reschedule. But I'm glad
Yeah,
you
we
dropped
totally
in.
do. I'm completely underwater on a couple things, and it's totally my fault. I'm so very
Not
sorry.
at all. Don't you worry about it. It's good to meet.
Yeah. And Tracy told me so much about you. I'm super excited to hear more about what you got cooking out here. You're always doing interesting things, and you're on to a new interesting venture now. And I'm super excited to share with you what we're working on as well. It's
Yeah, yeah, awesome, definitely. So yeah, I have. So just very quickly, because everybody knows who you are, I'll just briefly introduce myself. Um, I've been a tech entrepreneur for the last 15 odd years, and have built and sold three platform companies that effectively drive more sales online or drive more audience.
yep.
So it's been like a combination of e-commerce and media tech and ad tech and all the nefarious AI stuff that happens behind the scenes to track people and to do all that stuff. So
Yep.
I did that for 2 years, two times, two platforms, and then the first one actually was. And how much time do you have? So I'm not,
Let's do it. Let's get to know each other, and then we can dive deep on another call. Let's keep like 20 minutes. We got plenty of time.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, so I on my first go around, we built a company that was powering the likes of, by the time we exited, everyone except Amazon, eBay, Groupon, Staples, and like a lot of the smaller names. And we were essentially driving conversions by increasing it from, call it 1% and lower, which is still the average, to like 1.25, 1.5, 1 point, whatever, 1.2, and that's a massive increase in revenue
Yeah.
and a huge non-linear increase in profits, because these are incremental sales, no marginal cost, so the profits fit. And we would charge based on the incremental, you know so that I kind of cut my teeth on that model
Hmm.
those years, 2007 to 2013, when we exited to Staples, in this notion that it's extraordinary for somebody like me who can claim billions of dollars of revenue pumping through our algorithms, which is
Yep.
a virtual thing,
Yep.
without having any investments in the actual, like, what's generating the dollars, right?
Yes. Yeah.
So the notion that you can build software to virtually run somebody else's business
Hmm. Yeah.
without any of the costs,
Yeah.
actually do it online in a way that it needs to be done, and then take a commission on it,
Yeah.
was the model. So I really, we built that out, and the goal was to really build that into the DNA of the internet, so everyone would basically connect on an incremental basis. I mean, we all add value to each other, right? And so
Hmm.
I don't understand why this internet is so expensive today, and we'll get to that in a minute. But we sold the company to Staples when I was still in my pre-awake form. It was my first exit. I was very excited and everything, and I honestly thought naively that I could make a big change in the likes of Staples,
Mm.
where we were
Yeah.
acquired.
Sure.
And that was like a disaster after
You
the first
got sucked up into the Death Star.
total disaster. I was like not cut out. I was not ready for corporate
You bet.
what is it, like Game of Thrones.
Yo, it really is.
I was like brutalized.
Yes.
I was like sick of it, and I left within like a few months. And I said, I can just do it myself. So I built this media cloud because I wanted access to like a billion shoppers without paying Facebook and Google, right? So
Yep.
the same idea: how do I get access to other people's audiences that I could help them monetize, but then let them do the work of all the other work, right? Like the actual asset heavy, capital heavy work of content creation can be done by the people who do it best, and we of course can do what we do best, right? So we built a cloud like a Shopify for media people.
Okay.
Lots of newspapers, magazines like Bloomberg, Fortune, big newspapers around the world, magazine, all kinds of stuff, marketers. So that company last year crossed 500 million people across the networks, and should hit next year, whatever. But it's a
Mhm.
media layer. So how to bring both together,
Yeah.
And so in 2017, I started a blockchain thing. Okay, I thought that
Okay.
that's the future. I was like, yeah, we figured this out.
Yeah.
And but I think blockchain, as I'll explain now, is like a solution, a technology looking for I mean, it's a tech first type thing. It's like not what is really required. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
It's funny because I would say it's a hammer looking for nails, and our company right now is making nails. We're like, we gotta
exactly.
figure out, we got a solution in search of a problem here.
Couldn't say it better. So that entire thing. Anyway, I learned a lot about the concepts and the obviously, and I hit the crypto winter. In 2017, 2018, it was like so that was bad timing. But I now took all the three things: e-commerce in the funnel, right, within the funnel of e-commerce,
Yeah.
and then retail, which actually ultimately drives a digital transaction. Anyways, you're going to pay with either like a swipe somewhere, credit card, or even if it is cash, I mean, they're going to ring you up on a digital register, right? So like it's all digital, online or offline.
It's all software.
So for me, the whole notion of retail was online, offline it's like a channel. I mean, online is a channel, offline is a channel, right? And all the online networks are channels, and your, eBay is a channel, Amazon is a channel. I mean, right? And now, as you'll see with Awake, we brought everything together in a, on the internet. If you look at what the internet has become over the last, 30 years, it was designed and promised to be like this open, global economy, global village where we would all connect and have peace and prosperity around the world. Okay.
Yeah, right.
What we got is what we have, which is, this
Centralization.
Yeah. As you know.
Yeah.
So what happened and how do we revert back to that is the question, right? So if you look at how the platform companies are, they're called platform companies because they're platforms. You can build on them. And when you build on them, you pay a hefty price. Okay. Now, what we have done is that all the platform companies are layer 7 networks. If you understand the technology stack, it's the application layer. That's why it's the app economy. Everyone's an app. So application layer, everyone's an application layer protocol. Okay, Facebook is a protocol, Uber is a protocol, is a protocol. So and they're all centralized. Their own thing. They're not decentralized. Their own thing.
Yep.
So there are all these different ones that are their own centralized networks, and they're all platforms. So we built effectively what I joke as a layer 8 protocol. That's a platform. However, we built it on the other platforms. Okay. So it's a platform that sits on top of the existing internet at a layer 8 sort of level, at a meta level, meta layer for the internet where all existing platforms are integrated.
Okay.
And what you have is a way to transact between peer-to-peers in a totally transparent manner with almost zero fees in regular currencies and with a regular wallet that we provide everyone, so you can now literally do what the original internet had promised, but on the existing internet, which, as you know, is very expensive, but now you do it in our network. So it's like a network of networks, a meta layer on top of the internet, like a virtual internet, like a VPN layer that you don't need any special hardware for. You just log in like Facebook, Apple, Google, Amazon, Awake, and then any network that's operating within this, protocol automatically shares in all the things that the internet promised, payments, shop, like you can integrate your Shopify store, your WooCommerce store, you can kind of configure your Stripe, you can configure all the search bars, and one click. And then you're like doing transactions on top of these people. You don't have to pay them the 30, 40, 50%. You can pay each other.
Wow. Okay.
Right. So instantly it's like a reboot, right? Like the old internet is these networks that take the nodes, the people, and extract from them, each of them independently.
Yep.
And we don't know anything because it's all walled gardens.
Yep.
Right? Versus what we just do is we create a new network that connects all the people that can now use all the walled gardens for themselves and directly with each other.
Okay.
Right? So it's an inversion. Right?
So it's powered by the walled gardens, but it's on a layer that takes the walls down.
You got it, right?
Yeah.
So it just cuts through all the walls because it's like orthogonal,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. I get it. That's amazing.
So now we can mint anything on any chain. This is cross-chain. This is cross-platform. This is the actual business of business, right? We connect the people, two parties, we do the transactions, we facilitate the commerce, and the ledger is totally balanced across the internet. So multiple currencies, and it's one ledger, decentralized ledger. Everyone's plugged in their books, basically doing transactions with us, and we are facilitating and settling that on our decentralized virtual ledger. Any bank will do, any payment processor will do, any Shopify store, WooCommerce store, people on YouTube, e-com, like anywhere on HTTP, you're able to make money like the original internet.
Oh, okay. All right. And so it sounds like one of the benefits is that people can continue in a lane they're familiar with and not even have to understand what's underneath the hood, which is what, we're doing all this blockchain and NFT stuff. And our goal is to get to a place where no one even knows the words blockchain or NFT. Right. So it's just, it's just invisible. It just works. Like I'm just I'm just doing the thing that I'm trying to do.
Yes, precisely. And then you can, so I call it, we have our, so we go into NFTs, our protocol and the branding we are using is called Unefti, UNEFTI, right? Right?
Okay.
So it's coming soon, Unefti, right? So everyone can say Unefti.
I love that so much.
So words and branding is so important, right? Like
it's so important. It's so important. Yeah. I'm always looking. The reason it got my funny, but I'm always looking for the turn of phrase or the crystallization of the thing that what you just did is the perfect encapsulation of what needs to be understood by us, right? We need to unbundle this
space, right? It's the negative space. So literally, on our network of networks or anything you're doing on the internet now, because it's reified on our virtual platform, you can mint it anytime you like. It's just basically, the other word I use is unminted.
Yeah, unminted.
Everything is unminted, but ready to be minted on any chain, right?
Okay. Yeah.
And again, we buy and sell it. So it's a market protocol, right? And everyone's making money on those things, right? So ultimately, everyone's buying and selling from each other already on the internet. Why can't it all happen the way I described? It's because of the platform companies.
Sure.
So a platform to go around the platforms is staring at us in the face, right? Is the space between the networks.
Very interesting, and that's the other side of one of the things that we've been positioning our company as is, there's all this somewhat complicated, connectivity that's being figured out and being built. And we keep coming back to creating story and IP that creates content and context. Really, content's about context. It's giving people a meme or a story, an understanding of a morsel of information that helps them understand instantly what something is and what it's like. This is like that. So I understand it.
Yes.
And people just don't have any level of absorption of information anymore to get anything more than I either instantly understand it or I will never know it.
It's extraordinary, right?
Right. Everyone's a teacup that's completely full to the brim, and you take an eyedropper and you go doink, and everyone's always trying to pour a bucket of stuff into it. It's just like we have to find like that one phrase, that one crystallized context that people will understand it, and then understand the value proposition, right? And figure out why this is either makes them money, saves them money, creates opportunity for them, or gives them some good or service that they are pursuing somewhere else, and you're trying to get that person to your into your funnel, basically.
I mean, that's the thing. So it's Awake is, I went through my own journey of I am like an engineer. My background is, I used to write code, all that stuff, and became a business guy because I sold my company, right? Like they just ruined it. We should have bought Staples.
Right.
Yeah. And I just didn't have the money, right? So it's not about the money. It's about how do you create liquidity, which is actually the money. The money is in the exchange.
The money is in the exchange. That's right.
So we are an exchange protocol, right? Ultimately, what is happening between people, and how do we even know there are people? What is the use of being on the internet if you don't do anything, right? And doing is always an exchange between something, either a computer, like a machine, like a server, like Facebook, or another person, and we are the exchange protocol. Even talking to you is an exchange, which should be verified on the ledger because there is opportunity cost here.
Yep.
And I need to know that you understand what I'm saying. Therefore, it's a two-way handshake.
That's right.
It's not like a broadcast.
That's right.
Right?
Yeah.
So everything is an exchange, and we capture that. We capture everything. So imagine now the power of this neural, network that's basically being built, connecting human beings on activity that basically drives commerce on any platform, the metaverse, so to speak, right? The real metaverse is invisible.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I mean, the real metaverse is whatever people are doing in that moment online, and however that can be, the value of that can be captured and exchanged in some way, that can be stored, that can be ledgerized, and then that can be exchanged.
100%. So we have built that. We have built it, and I can, next time when we have time, and I'm sure you need to run or whatever it is situation, we'll show you a demo where this protocol, and we've got some retail examples. We went to retail first because that's cash flow. We got to generate money. We enable the creator economy, basically. Everybody on the planet who's on internet, Facebook, Instagram, all of these places are being monetized. Now, whatever you choose to do, you continue doing. But if you know this basic fact that Awake exists and you should use these, networks to make money, continue using these digital billboards. Continue taking money as you do, or spending money as you do. But you also have this new incremental co-creation wallet that automatically credits you for any sale that happens within these networks.
Yeah, I love it. It's super interesting. That's right. It's right. It's exactly aligned with what we're trying to do.
Tell me what it is. What is it?
Well, we are, I'm a bit like you. I am an animation producer, writer, producer, director, which is very much like being a programmer, creating something. It's creative. You're thinking about what you're making, and realize where I was. I worked with Warner Brothers and Disney and DreamWorks, and now I'm at Mattel, and I'm doing. But I went and got my MBA a couple of years ago because I realized I'm in the wrong place in the value chain. I've created all the value, billions of dollars in value that I've created for the studios, and then I realized they're sucking it all up, and I'm getting a paycheck. I don't have any ownership of anything, any of the work I've done for 25 years. I've got, hey, look who it is. Tracy. Hi there.
The rainmaker, the magic
rainmaker, the master, the genie.
Yes. The master. We're all puppets in their world.
We are. We're just chess pieces in Tracy's infinite game.
Multi-dimensional chess. That's right.
Tracy, I was just speaking with Amit about what we're trying to do with MetaX. He and I had a similar journey in that, figuring out where you are in the value chain and how you reposition what you have to offer and how you actually lead and create a new platform or what it is. And so he asked me what it is we're trying to achieve. We're a metaverse native content studio, mostly focused around IP. But as I mentioned, IP is all about putting context around the underlying invisible technology that's driving the use cases of what people are doing in the metaverse. They're coming for entertainment, they're coming for investment, they're coming for a blend of those two things. So GameFi is something that we're really hot on, just because I think that's where fun and finance are going to come together. And
I like that. I've not heard that term. That's cool.
That's what we're focused on. So, and we're working with a couple of technology companies right now that are floating DeFi into NFT and figuring out how do we bring game and game mechanics and game thinking, and particularly storytelling, particularly context, into something that's dry and boring and just numbers going up and numbers going down. What if you could craft a story that was fun and engaging around that essentially mythologized the mechanism that was happening underneath, so people could emotionally engage with something that's intellectually stimulating.
And so, Joe, I know how much y'all have talked about.
We just started less than 20 minutes ago.
Okay, so the reason why I brought you two together is, as I told you, Joe is the ultimate creative. He's like Power Man. He gets things done, and he's very good about seeing opportunity. And Joe, it's how long ago we started talking down this path around all of Nifties and all these different things. And Joe, Amit has created what you were talking about. What would happen if you can buy something, sell it, have this influencer thing when we talked about the Disney and you got a hotel and a coupon and everything else. Well, he's actually created sort of a version of that where your work can go out, and instead of just paying a traditional marketer or somebody around what you're doing, you're now opening it up to what we used to talk about, the art stock exchange, where you can actually put things out. And his platform is a version of sort of what you were talking about a while back. And while it seems like right now it may look like you're on different planes, you're actually not, because you're all working towards the same goal, but maybe from a different angle. And that's why I brought the two of you together.
Yeah.
I mean, what little you said, Joe, which is a metaverse native content studio, is, music to my ears, because our technology in one line, and I'm just trying this on for size, is we make content trackable and shoppable across the metaverses.
Right. Awesome. Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah. Well,
And
it's very interesting because, I mean, we're, the simplest I've been able to conceptualize that, what is a metaverse? A metaverse is wherever anybody is on the blockchain, anything that they're doing on the the metaverse, just the blockchain. Now, how you integrate with that blockchain, because there's 1,000 blockchains, there's a million different ways to skin that cat, right? And rather than going down,
if I can just add there, if you can say that it's actually multiple blockchains, the truth is it's none of those blockchains.
It's internet.
So that means it's actually not the blockchain at all. It's actually always virtual, and it's always between the counterparties. That's all. It has nothing whatsoever to do with the physical manifestation at all. It only has to do with the value exchange, which is always virtual and direct between two parties.
Right. The blockchain is just there. It's just the ledger. It's just
the ledger.
Track.
Therefore, yes. Yeah. Therefore, our thing too, awake, the whole point about what is metaverse is it actually doesn't matter whether you're waking or dreaming. It's the same thing.
Sure.
Yeah. Completely virtual.
Tell me the difference.
There's no difference. You see?
Yeah.
So that is the truth. So when we are operating with one common network, which is the entire dream as one single network, which is actually in your own consciousness, you have created that digital consciousness that connects all the people, so-called people, into that information that says this is the universe or whatever metaverse we call it.
Yeah. And isn't a metaverse a group of people sharing a commonality with a Venn diagram overlap of their lens of reality, right?
Absolutely, precisely correct, right? So that's why communities are going to be the future of commerce, as long as we're able to directly connect them with each other without any other large platform coming in the way transactionally for no reason. Like we would not pay Zoom for this call if we were to deal and they take 30%. You'd be like, why? I mean, why would I pay Zoom 30% just to connect us on on a phone call?
Right.
So how is it any different when these internet companies are what they're offering? Nothing other than a phone connection, right? I mean, why on earth would so value ultimately is only and ever in the beholder, and therefore also in the buyer, and that's it. Nothing else. No platform, no internet service, nothing. Blockchain has any value.
Yeah, and
therefore value is in the exchanges.
I totally agree. I agree, and I think if we look at what the current state is, this is a conversation we were just having about, whether or not we would go on Ethereum or not for this NFT. And that, the idea being, well, Ethereum is, there's a lot of value locked up on Ethereum right now because that's where the hammers are. Like I said, we're making nails. And so, but that's just a perception. Everything can move off of Ethereum tomorrow, right?
Correct.
It would be a swipe of a thumb and everything can move, can move to something as soon as something came along. And now Ethereum 2.0 is coming and the bridge and all this stuff, because of the gas fees and all, so, and Polkadot is coming up and there's all these new things that are kind of shaking out, but it's so hyper niche. It's so
Right.
early days, right? And if you look at the level of early adoption that we're at, you know, this is so transformative. It is about how do we contextualize for people the understanding the value proposition that there is safety and that there is security, that there is consensus. You know, there's the group hallucination that
Yes, exactly. Which is what a dream is. If you think about what a dream is, a dreaming state, you know, like an altered state of consciousness,
yeah,
or a state of consciousness, even any state of consciousness, is just a hallucination amongst a whole bunch of actors and, you know, so-called people that are in the hallucination, right? I mean, how do you know they're real?
how do you know they're
You
real?
know,
Yeah, I'm fully convinced all of you are just a phantom figments of my imagination.
and I actually agree with that.
I know
Right?
Joe's my happy figment of imagination.
I had to dream
Yeah.
of Tracy because I couldn't handle this by myself.
Exactly. No, that's
And so did
exactly
you.
it. That's totally, and that's the what is called as the what these people call the what is it? The law of attraction, they call it,
Yeah.
or the secret,
Mhm.
you know, which is manifestation, how it happens, right? It's literally that consciousness. It simply brings together, you know, from a concept, all the pieces, the objects that need to make it happen. You just have to let it flow.
You have to let it flow. It's funny that just was I was on a believe it or not, I was on a hike. I was on a Boy Scout hike with my son, hiking out of this canyon over the weekend. And it was just running through my head because all these things that it was the first time I'd been offline for months, you know, and so I was offline, unplugged for 24 hours and coming out of this, you know, canyon. And I thought, you know, it isn't so much that I'm trying to make order out of chaos because I'm not. Actually, there is not chaos. It's quite ordered. It's
Absolutely correct. Yes.
quite ordered. And it's just a matter of simply being in accord with the structures that are sitting in front of me.
Totally. Okay. Totally.
lining those
My
up.
God. So on that note, you know,
Yeah.
so the technology what we have built is the simplest, you know, and everybody who,
It is
except for
simple.
Tracy and folks like that, come and say, you know, oh my God, you're boiling the ocean, and I'm
Yeah.
like, that's because you don't understand how the ocean works, you know.
And
But you can't explain that, you know, you can't explain that. You either understand it or you don't understand it. And it will never come to be that somebody who does not understand will suddenly understand. Like my mom will not understand blockchain, even if, like, you know, it
Yeah.
dances in front of her, right?
Yeah.
Like, so yeah, I mean, that's literally it. So the whole universe is very simple. And if you see that what it is at the very cellular or automata
Mhm.
level, or even if you keep going down, you know, it's literally just things happening, exchanges, you know, between particles, because there's movement, you
That's
know.
right. That's right.
That's it. There's only movement and particles and vibrations, right? So to know that there is a vibration, you assign names to it, that these two particles are vibrating, and then you record the fact that they're vibrating. So this very observation creates reality. Perception is reality, you know.
That's right.
So that's the end of it. So we have modeled the basis of perception, which is called the observation effect, or how Heisenberg's consciousness principle, you know, if you observe something, it changes it, which is because you hallucinated it. Everything is hallucination in the end, you know.
Yep.
So the minute you think of it, you start, you know, it happens. It's the hallucination you're experiencing.
Right.
So when you finally begin to see less and less hallucination, you begin to see the order, you know, because
Right.
there is nothing crazy going on. It's simply perfect stillness and perfection right now. Like the whole universe as it is actually perfect.
Yeah.
You know?
Right. Yeah, it is. It's that thing of, okay, it isn't up to me to organize the universe. The universe has been organized. It's me to recognize it, be conscious of it,
That's
pay
it.
attention to the pieces that are coming right in front of my field of view. And then the other piece that I'm coming to, which is, you know, the whole point of starting our own company was only to do things we have control over. You know, to not do things we don't have control over. And so you realize that, you know, dealing with
Perfect.
other people's hallucinations, that, you know, you think, well, this can work out because they just need to do XYZ and it'll all work out. They'll, unless they're really super aligned with you, like super vibrationally aligned with you, it'll never work out, because they actually have their own hallucination that's eventually,
That's
you know,
right.
the two lines they're gonna separate, and you won't close.
Correct.
Yeah, so that's been a great peacemaking mental health piece for me to go, okay, let's just
Yeah.
work on things that we have, you know, a
Yeah.
lot of control over.
Totally. And it
Yeah.
gives you freedom, you
Yeah.
know, because now you're free from other people.
Hugely.
You know what I mean?
I'm laughing because I'm getting ready to bring something to scale Amit's thing up, because what you guys are talking about is so what's needed in this space. The reason why I was late, I had to listen to another person's metaverse, and I really wanted to cram my car in a
Not
ditch.
another one, not another metaverse.
I was just like, can we stop now?
Yeah.
Because but I'm on the blockchain chamber of commerce now, so I have to listen. But what I think was very interesting, and I know I'm coming in late to this.
I was late too, though, so it's all working out, except for
Okay.
Amit, who had to wait around for.
No worries. I was doing other stuff in the.
I apologize. What
Letting
I
it
like,
flow.
Yeah.
what I like about his solution, Joe, is I've been working with a lot of people around Nifty's wallets and different things. What I like about Amit's solution is it's neutral. You can pay with whatever you want to do, however you want to do it, and you're able to use that skin so you're not so limited. He brings lots of opportunity, I think, to organically expand and do what you want to do, because he's not there to define your business. And you could tell me if I'm telling this wrong, but it's basically, he is an enabler for people who want to create businesses and make money, and also make it in a way other people can participate. But he on, and it can be paid however you want to pay, and whatever thing you want to pay with to get to that end. And he can pay people who are helping you sell what you want in anything from any fiat currency to Bitcoin and cryptocurrency. So there's this whole, within the creator market and everything, there's this whole piece of flexibility that I think has been missing from the Nifty market that has held people captive. And I see his technology as a way to maybe talk about how we not hold people captive. And there's the other piece of it, is when you buy a Nifty, it's not, in reality, you don't necessarily own it by law, that piece of art. So there's a lot of framework that's got to go around all of this. And I was in that meeting with Washington. So what I see is he brings accountability in a world where third-party cookies are going away, and people voluntarily say, I want to buy this. And by the way, I want to voluntarily celebrate Joe's stories and his creators on every platform, whether I'm Instagram, TikTok, or even just, wherever you live. And that he brings that piece of it too. He gets everybody out of their walled garden. And I may not be describing it well, but that's sort of
No, that's absolutely right. Yeah. Thank you.
That's what's exciting about his technology. It's different. It's not just technology. It serves a purpose that I think that we needed to lift barriers around, of not walling the consumer in and not walling the creator in, because I think that is a problem when we wall everybody in these walled ecosystems that they can't get out of unless they say done, gone.
That's right.
And I'm going to stop talking, but that's sort of what I was thinking when I put the two of you together.
Right. Well, I want to just springboard off that for 2 seconds, because that one thing that Amit said and that you just keyed on was, and that's really aligned with us as a company, is the creator economy. We have, there's play to earn, and we're launching create to earn. We want to have people come into our space and create to earn.
Okay.
Yeah.
I love it.
And part of us being accomplished creators, with our, certainly we have all this background, but our message is, the reality is, my co-founder and I'm a kid from the cornfields of Illinois, and he's a piker from Wales who grew up in a trailer. Like we are not, we're not some gifted king, people from the clouds. We are just people who came, from the mud and the dirt, and worked really hard to get good at creating. And creating is waking up every day and doing it, and getting around people that make you better, and getting around people, and then teaching some of the basic fundamentals of creativity and storytelling and art and how we do. So our community is a creator community, and it's not about Meta X Studios as a as a top of the funnel kind of, or top of the pyramid kind of project oriented company. We have our projects, but we actually want to empower from the bottom of the pyramid. We want to empower and support a creative community to come in. Hopefully they resonate with what we do. It's stupid, it's fun, it's silly, it's goofy, it's funny. We're doing comedy to start, but we're hoping to branch that out and have people come in and have richer and richer content experiences, but then create products, projects, platforms that empower that creativity to either come in, create, mint, and already, and we don't have to command the world to do it. We're just happy to do the parts that we're going to do, and this whole thing is just going to go float. If we end up coming and being some huge platform or huge name, it'll either make us or destroy us. You know, we're not completely sold that that's the best future for us in a weird way, right? You know, it's like the best future for us is to create value and to continue to make good things that support the human experience. I mean, that's where we live. And so, and mental health is a piece of that too. You know, how can we have a human interaction and a human relationship to this technology? Humor and having a light heart about it is part of how we're engendering that relationship with this technology. So it isn't just this Sturm and Drang of chasing crypto prices, chasing NFT, you know, NFT spikes and pumps and dumps. Like that whole culture isn't what we're trying to do. Anyway, that, you know, pontificating on my soapbox, but I mean,
if you see what I've written, I've been writing about this stuff for the last 2.5 years, and of course writing to myself, because nobody, I mean, 2019, 2020, when there was no software, people thought I'm, you know, it's like smoking something, you know, but then finally you have to show the software, you know?
Yeah. Well, maybe that's the next, is that the next step? So do you want to do a demo? Can we set up a demo?
Let's do it. I want to show it to you.
Yeah, great.
Okay.
I'm just gonna go get water because I sat in that car for an hour and a half.
Oh my gosh.
I'm right around the corner.
And just give me 2 seconds.
Yeah, you bet.
Joe, I shared your input today with Crystal.
Oh, okay.
On policy and different things, and I'm going to probably do for them a paper on how many people this affects and why they should champion what you're talking about. Awesome. We'll see if it goes any further, but I will be meeting with mayors, governors, and both parties on the Hill within the next 2 months around this.
That's awesome. Well, I found that
quickly grab a water too. Right?
You bet. I sent that article to you, and then the next thing I did is I sent it to my team, and I said, "This is where we're going." You know? And I told them a little bit about you, and I told them a little bit about this kind of thought leadership and this regulation sort of thing, and who you are, and why you're so awesome, and how, you know, we as a company, we're saying we're going to be thought leaders. Guess what? If we're going to really thought lead, we got to thought lead on the regulation side as well, because, you know, it's the unknowns of what's going to be happening is the thing that's stifling and putting the kibosh on where it can go. If we can pull that lid off of it, we can blow this thing up.
So what is happening is labor law, we could talk about later, but there's this real triple taxation around cryptocurrencies if we don't get it done right. And the only regulation is around the bankers and what they want, and the people like the cryptocurrency companies, and it's going to be a ricochet of bad for the creatives.
Okay.
Ricochet and so that's bad. Well, think about, you get Bitcoin, you don't know it forked. It's not like stock when it splits. You have to pay your taxes immediately when it forks, not when you sell it. If they pay you in Bitcoin, you have to pay FICA, Social Security on it that day. Even if it goes down tomorrow, it's not worth $1. Does that make sense? It's not par to par.
Yeah.
And then you're still going to pay it as a property tax, along with having to pay FICA and social on it. And nobody's talking about that. And what is the inheritance of your crypto, your Nifties, and your stuff? And so that's what I'm working on in this creator market, is bringing that to the forefront of discussion from my Wall Street background, because I have testified in front of the SEC, and they have a lot of lawyers and academia talking this, and they're idiots. They don't understand what these people, excuse me, Amit, you don't know me, Joe knows me, but I worked with Al Greenspan when discount brokerages come. They don't understand the SEC writes big tickets, the DOJ sends you to jail, the FTC is always running in fright, and the Treasury is like, how can I control the fiat money so I could force political power? And so they're writing all this egghead stuff that really is going to be smart but dumb, if that makes sense, when it gets down to you, me, and Amit.
Right, right. In
These
their
products.
abstract, it's in their bubble, but out here in the real world where the innovation is happening and the economic opportunity is, it's not aligned with the.
Well, they're thinking about making a Nifty a security, so you cannot sell
That's
it.
the biggest concern. That's the biggest concern.
And there's a reason why it's not.
Yeah.
And so I'm going to give it back to Emmett,
Yeah.
because this is not what we're talking about, but those are the meetings that I've been in this week.
Okay.
Because
that's important stuff. I mean,
I'm worried. I'm worried
Right.
for the creator market.
Yeah. Well, we got to stand up. We got to stand up and speak for the creative market. And
Well,
we're able to create.
I have one answer, which is
okay.
Unefti is not an NFT.
Exactly. You tell me why. I told them why.
because you don't have to. What is an NFT? I assume it's a non-fungible token. What if you never mint it? You know, so we just stay in the unminted universe.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, but here's what I will tell you. We have a tax shortage, and so all they're trying to figure out is how they can tax this. And the other piece is
tax it like retail. It's just a currency, you know.
But they won't let it be a currency because they can't. But here's the piece y'all need to understand. It's been sold like lottery tickets to the very poor, and they're seeing very poor who don't have money to lose going into all of the shady stuff and getting really burnt. And it's become a problem because it's been marketed to the poorest of the poor. And if you go on Facebook, the biggest groups on cryptocurrency are Black in the US, and they're losing money. And they have to look at it from that perspective, because a lottery ticket's $1. Nobody promises you're going to win, but there's a lot of shady stuff out there around Nifties and cryptos and Bitcoin. And if we're not careful, there's going to be this broad brush that's done with all of us. And I'm gonna leave that, but that's why I started getting involved, because I sat in one meeting and I called separately and then called Joe and said, we got to do something.
Yeah, we got to have that conversation and speak up for the good actors, right? The good citizens of this that are trying to do. So, Amit, please take the floor.
Yes, please hit the floor.
All right. So I'm going to show you a few things that we power. You know, so examples, if you will, of our network. So the first one is going to be in cannabis, just to show you examples. You know, I'm going to show you retail examples today.
Okay.
Because I'll show you some games as well, if you know.
He has it all. This is not one side. He can skin it all.
Because we are the abstract layer of transactions. I mean, we just need nodes and a network. That's it, right? Like, it's literally just that. So this is weed, Wineful. Let me show you a white label product that's somebody else's platform. It's an influencer marketing platform. I'll show you one in India that's a women-only internet with like 25 million women and growing and so on. But now with us, they launched an Avon Ladies type thing where these women are earning money selling products, and I'll show you that. And then I'll show you one that my kids created. I think I hope you like this one. It's about comics and fan fiction and cartoon character creation, and very, I hope, fertile imagination in place for imagining stories and creating like it's a decentralized IP for characters and fan fiction.
Okay.
So these are all communities, and what we do is we build market networks. This is what the term we like to use, which is like a social network, but it's a business network where people connect to do business, and they are able to do transactions, they're able to do referrals, and they're able to have commissions and passive income and all these things. Okay. And then it can be skinned in various ways. So in this case, the cannabis industry, Weed is a media company. They only have a blog. Okay. They actually are only creating content, and that too now they're actually doing it in a decentralized manner, as a social network. Okay. Where people like Bruce Linton, who is a famous entrepreneur, he started a public company now, Canopy Growth, one of the largest in this, and then also Tweed, and so on. He's talking about why a network like Weed that does not censor people and kick you out, and like what Facebook does with a lot of stuff, and so on and so on and so forth. So many different things, right? And then there's the notion of the business, which is if you're a brand or a wholesaler or a retailer or a distributor or a dispensary or a delivery service, whatever, you have to be licensed. You have to be, operating under regulation. So in this network, we are doing none of those things. We are simply a network that connects media companies and all these people together so that they can do commerce amongst themselves as legally, doable, So, and for example, in the case of, this is curation now, right? Like these products are coming from anyone on the planet, right? Like anyone who's a network, who's a member of our network and who happens to have a store or a business selling stuff, has connected it one click, they've plugged in their Shopify, they've plugged in their WooCommerce, they've plugged in whatever. And these people, we are just choosing all the cannabis products or all the CBD products, and then, showing it to people in their community, this is just a JavaScript insert, So this is just a building block for somebody like a blogger to literally have their own store, and everything gets shipped directly. So this is a kind of drop ship universe where everyone's going direct. You just get the order straight, you do everything, we just take a fee. And it's not so simple in the case of, what is it called? THC, because, it's like regulated, you can't do any online stuff. So we actually have to be location aware. So it's a hyper local, operating system that connects buyers and sellers, and we inject the order online or offline, or if you're a membership or an NFT or some sort of, online class or a restaurant reservation, it makes no difference what you're selling. We just inject the order back to whatever it is you got a catalog, right? You got a catalog, you're selling something, whatever it is, right? So it's a metaverse. In other words, I actually don't care where it is, right? It could be totally virtual, and it is totally virtual as far as I'm concerned, right? And now let me show you like how the money flows. Oops, sorry. So let's take an example of a brand called Adams. And these guys, they're connected to our network. If you go to their website, this is their own business. They run it on, their own domain name. So this is like the metaverse. Everyone has their own, It's not like you got only, So everyone connects their existing network into our network. So this is theirs, supply chain and all that stuff. And they continue doing that. This is running on WooCommerce or Shopify or one of those, platform companies today. They got to do nothing other than connect it one time. And then on our side, they get their entire catalog and inventory. So we can sell, in real time, anything they have in the store, and then inject the orders back to them, okay? Which they then fulfill like normal. So here is where they control, like, you'll see the pricing. For example, here, $130 is their retail price, same as in their store. So it shows up in the normal way. It would be the same on Amazon. We would be happy to push it anywhere. We are like their omni-channel or, multi-channel catalog management now, because we pump it wherever sales can be.
So you guys are agnostic for, this could end up on Amazon just as easily as it can end up on Etsy, as easily as it could end up on any other place.
It doesn't matter.
Okay.
It doesn't matter because we don't make money on those platforms. However, nor does the business as much as they would if they did it on their own.
Sure.
Right. So the goal of the business is to be brand centric, business centric, right? So you want to drive people to your own network, which is what we really enable by optimizing the entire omni-channel reality that every business is, right? So we enable everyone to be the same thing. Therefore, you can optimize the whole, as it needs to be, which is the network of networks. Everyone connects their networks to us. We just run transactions wherever it is. And ultimately, as the tagline of ShopType, this product that I'll show you the backend of in a second, is like the network is the market. Like the network is the computer from Scott McNeely, back in Sun Microsystems. Right? So this card is a universal cloud card. Okay, so this means this card is coming from us. It's a universal card. It can take any products from any vendors, multi-vendors, multi-currency, all in one giant basket. Awesome. You do one checkout, and we do the order splits and manage all that stuff. So in other words, like Tracy was saying, it doesn't matter what currency, because we're all doing an exchange, right? We're tracking the actual trade. Any like Forex, it's like trading. So as far as we're concerned, we just track what you're paying with, and then what you're buying, that's like the part of the catalog, right? So it's part of the trade order, buy, sell order. So this cart can take anything. It's a simple experience for all the metaverses. Everyone connects and is able to plug into the same universal now catalog, universal cart, and universal checkout, which basically enables anyone to become a store and make this 20, 30, 40, 50% money, which is now available as the co-seller fee. Okay, this is what we call it. So you were saying about create and earn. This is called co-selling. So it's like your buyer, seller, co-seller, or like co-working, co-living, co-selling, where you're not the seller, but you can make now, in this case, 35% of this money. This is after we take our fees. So our fees is 5%, which goes down to 3%, because we want to be like the Stripe for sales. And then these people, we keep 5%, 10%, whatever they want to keep. And the rest is passed on. In this case, 45% was offered by Adams, because you know what, if they get listed on Target or on Sephora or whatever, they put them in store, they'll take 80%, 70%, and they don't even know who their customers are. Yeah. So we enable the direct commerce experience. We enable the customer relationship, their storytelling and all that stuff. And now all this army of people, their fans, who can make money on their products because they love them and they have no people, they can promote it to their own audiences online simply by clicking a button and sharing it on any technology platform that uses HTTP, like email or blogs or any Facebook, Google, Apple, Amazon, whatever, right? And so
they can become a reseller.
They are a reseller. Okay. Yes, they become a reseller at the click of a button, and they become a creator whose content now, wherever it is on the internet, and if somebody clicks and buys, of course they make money. But if they don't click if they click and don't buy right away, but they come and buy a month later after clicking 2 other people, 3 people get split this money automatically in the fintech wallet. You don't even have to sell anything. You just have to focus on those other 99 clicks, not that 1% click, which is trying to sell. Nobody likes it. Nobody likes to be sold to. But you want to be engaging. You want to be funny. You want to be, cool and all those things on the internet. People come, they engage. And obviously when they buy, everyone gets paid. Okay. Right? Yep. This is the actual creator economy, which the internet had promised, which is, hey, you just plug in, do your thing, and you should be part of whatever is happening. Hey, everyone's boat is floating, because people are ultimately going to make transactions and everybody is going to get paid, right? But instead we have all these platform companies that are literally, on like a phone call taking 30, 40%. Think about DoorDash and people like that. It's just like, it's a shameful thing to live in Silicon Valley and call ourselves, what it is. Highly unawake, as I say. So sleeping, one might say, politely. So this is what it is. Instantly you log into these to this. So what it is you're logging into is a meta network. You've logged into Awake, and so you're a member of Bead. Okay. Let me log out and show you how to how the login. But anyway, the whole point. Let me just quickly show you. Yeah. So it's a universal login. We sit on top of Facebook, Google, Apple, Amazon. It doesn't matter how you log in. Once you're in, you'll be able to, for example, if we go back now and show you what, for example, or anywhere else, in fact. So like, any of these networks now, you can imagine how they are all driven by media, powered by community. They're talking about different things and events and whatnot. You can have games, you can have other types of experiences. I'm just going to, skip to the back end so I can show you that as well very quickly. And of course, this is a winery here in Napa. We just went live, actually. We're early stage, super early stage ourselves, and now going live in these different networks. Now again, all the same things I showed you before, and this new notion of, co-selling and making money everywhere you go, right? This is a third-party network, not ours. I'll just log in here. This has already been around for 4 or 5 years. Hundreds of brands on one side, tens of thousands of how many creators on the other side, influencers. And so far they've been getting paid for like campaign management. And campaign management is like, likes and, those vanity metrics that you hopefully drive sales with, I guess. But in our case, what they've done is they've actually created a marketplace where, if you see any of these products, this is a white label experience. It doesn't say, anything here. You see, share and earn, like your create and earn. It's basically the same thing. Create or share, it's the same. Somebody's got to see the content, somewhere.
Yep, for sure.
So It's literally that. So sign up, right? First, before you log in. I'm going to quickly log. Oh, okay. Hopefully it won't ask me like two-factor auth and stuff. Okay. Okay. So because who knows where the heck that is. Okay. So marketplace, you go back. So let's say that, so I just signed up. I became a member of Awake there. Okay. Because I signed up with Facebook and I became a member of Creator. Okay. And I've got a wallet now, which is to be authenticated. I mean, KYC'd. And then 35% is available on this particular product after their fees and our fees.
Okay.
Okay. And again, same thing. So this whole experience continues. This is the women only network. It's a mobile experience. It actually runs inside there. There are hundreds of brands in India now that are connected here on a very long waiting list. All these brands in all categories: food, education, books, interior decor, furniture, like cosmetics, all kinds of stuff. Different ranges of margins, what they offer. And this is highly like WhatsApp friendly in India. It's an Indian network. Any product you like, you can add to your own store. This is about 10%. They're taking about 15% on all transactions. We keep our usual 5%. Most brands are offering 30, 40, 50%. That was a very low low thing. But in general, this is, let's see, I don't even know what these brands are. So anyway, now let me quickly, so you get the sense. Let me show you the back end, which is our technology. All of these are not our front ends. These are all other people's, UI. It could be a game, it could be anything, doesn't matter. It's the login, the account, the wallet, and then what you do engagement-wise on any digital media platform. So this protocol is called Shop Type. It's the market protocol, and this is our platform. So when you log in, what you will see is 3 kind of profiles. Okay, and like an Airbnb, in Airbnb you can switch between traveler and host. In ours, everyone's a traveler, and here everyone's a co-seller. Vendor is anyone who's like a host and you want to sell NFTs or online classes, restaurants, wineries, as you saw, whatever it is.
Yeah.
And networks that organize vendors and co-sellers and people in general. Everyone's a co-seller. So communities or metaverses or retail chains or media companies or whatever. So if you go in as a vendor, the first thing you do is you connect your products. And the way you connect your products is simply connect your store. That's an odd thing. Shopify or WooCommerce or any of these platforms, we configure that for your thing. Once you only have to do this one time, and once you do that, all your products are kept live sync on our side. We keep it in live sync because every time, obviously, inventory, where it is, changes, pictures, whatever. And then we ask that you do one time, and this can be changed anytime. Let me just zoom in. The attribution, how to pay the network when sales happen. And which is what network? The internet. 30% is being offered. So anybody on the internet can come in and this thing. And you were, I think, asking earlier about, the affiliate kind of thing where how much time and all that. We can literally configure, like, for example, multi-touch, right? Somebody goes to one store, talks to a salesperson in Sephora, does not make a purchase, walks out to another month later, second store in Sephora, different mall, talks to the second salesperson, doesn't make a purchase, then goes to, I'm now going to shift like the same thing, but YouTube, somebody clicks on a thing, doesn't buy. Twitter, somebody clicks, doesn't buy, whatever. And finally makes a purchase. The last person who gets all the commissions during the Christmas holiday, bought lots of products, is like, yeah, look at me, I got this deal. It's like, A, first of all, that wasn't you. B, you missed out on all the other people, the 99 other people that also you helped, but didn't actually buy. And you were being an annoying salesperson the entire time, you know? So why not focus on the other 99 touch points and get paid for every single thing that ultimately leads to a sale, because you obviously had a part to play in it. So what we say is, if you're going to be the closer, which is the last touch here, let us give you, 8 hours to make 40% of the commissions. But because 99% of the time you're not the last click, I'm going to give you, let's say, 2 weeks, to make, say, 20% of the commissions when the sale happens, and say within 5 days to make 30% of the commission. You can change all these numbers. And then if you're the only one, you of course get everything. And in this particular case, we have configured 10% for just introducing people. So let's say, you introduce somebody, you don't have to make any more shares. They buy stuff weekly, monthly, you get 10% off every commissions of every order, for let's say 24 months.
Okay.
So that's what I'm showing is social gamification. Let me show you an order now. A social gamification of commerce across the metaverse. So let's take an order. What happens? How people get paid, right? So you saw She Rose as one of the networks. Let's say that they also get involved in one of the sales. I'll take an example. Order 1476. It's a $100 order. You saw 30% was offered as commission. So we pay $70 to the vendor. $30 was used for incentive. We got paid $5, our fee. Network got paid $5, $10, whatever they charged. And then let me zoom in. These people also got paid, and all the money went to a wallet because they did things on various platforms. Facebook wants to be a metaverse. So on Facebook's metaverse, on Twitter's metaverse, everyone's metaverse, they did stuff, right? They engaged with people. And because of that, this particular person who was engaged with in this chain ultimately made a purchase, and all these people got paid based on the rules that were very clearly articulated in all these point of sale networks, these commerce networks, these social commerce networks, right?
Yep.
Which is everywhere. Everything is a social commerce network. And all this money is sitting on our wallets, and this is regular money. It's fiat. It's every currency that we are operating in. It's a few currencies now. And then what you do is first, you'll connect your local bank, but you'll see here, it's a virtual bank, it's a virtual wallet. It's a double entry bookkeeping ledger across all these businesses that are now being powered by our system. So effectively a decentralized economy. This is the central book and the central, settlement ledger. You connect your existing so-called real, gateways, and you take your money out. So what is real and what is unreal, of course, now becomes clear. The money is not in the stripes and everywhere else. It's in the people who are doing the exchanges and who are enabling commerce for everyone else. So this is the vendor flow. You can very quickly see, if I go in as a co-seller, I could be sitting in India, for example. You're talking about earning, right? I could be sitting in India. I come in here, I choose a currency, for example, US dollars, and I set my location to Beverly Hills. I'm like, I want to make money there. I go to products, I look for expensive things. This is a test system, so there's not much here, but I could look for expensive things which have high margins, and I have an audience for it. Let's say, YouTube channel or whatever. I take a brand that I find interesting, like this gaming console. It makes me $90 in commissions. I can share this, with my people everywhere. I can get an embed code, write about it like Amazon, but Amazon is paying 3-4%, on average. We're talking 30, 40, 50%,
Okay. Yep.
And so this is the direct commerce economy, totally decentralized for people who have a following because they entertain, they inform, they educate, they are, they influence ultimately, they are creating, audiences. So they all get paid, and it's all organic, it's authentic. All these earnings sit in your, you can see exactly what's happening. You're basically turning yourself into a business in the sense that at least you see what is happening, right? And you can monetize it. Now, all of this is, of course, I'll stop here. Let me just pause and we can talk. But all of this is fiat. So you can imagine we haven't touched crypto, which we will introduce first as a payment mechanism. And then NFTs are coming. We call them Uneftis, which are basically everything you saw now is an NFT. Unminted, I call it, as I was explaining earlier.
Right.
Which is literally going to be a market where, let's say you share, okay, Joe shares, okay, my content from, say, Toontype. My son writes an article. He's 11. So he created that website, like full of fan fiction and stuff. He and his brother, 8-year-old, and they connected Printful. They're literally selling stuff, like stuff. Okay, and it's the new lemonade stand. But
I love that, the new lemonade stand, Joe.
yeah, isn't it? Like crazy. The younger one, he's like always about money. He's like, give me $2 for this. I'm like, what? Like, why? And it's like to watch a movie. I'm like, but you want to watch the movie? It's like, well, I thought I'll ask. I'm like,
that's a shakedown.
It's just crazy,
Hey, hold on one second. Let me run some power because my computer's about to die and I just have to grab a power cord. Just give me 2 seconds here.
Yeah.
I'm laughing because, since he's on the Nifty and they're talking about back-end blockchain, maybe addressing how it doesn't matter where it is because before y'all leave, I'd love for each other to agree, if you need NDAs, to share your decks with each other, because I think it would help you to see MetaX and for him to see even the Nifty piece you sent me.
I'm happy to share it. There's no problem. I don't have a problem.
Okay, I don't share anything unless the founders tell me to. So
I'm fine
just
with sharing it with you. Absolutely, no issues.
Joe, I just suggested that he, you know, as a follow-up, that maybe you two can share your decks, because he sent a wonderful deck, but I never share founders decks unless they tell me to.
Oh, yeah.
So the two of you, if you feel comfortable, I think it would help this conversation a little bit. Because, you know, you're talking blockchain and I'm the dumb one in the room. So I'm going to just say it, you know, not Shopify, you know, transitioning into the MetaX and all the way y'all talk about it within your universe, I think would be really helpful, because I know that there is some way that this will probably help each of you do what you want to do in this creator economy. And I just want to get a Nifty of Joe's and then shake down my brother with that 40% and be the last click.
Totally. So let me just address that with the Unefti thing I was mentioning, that bridges the gap between NFTs and regular universe, right? Which is people first, which is what we are, right? Human to human commerce, and anything that they're trading, you know, buying and selling. So including media, right? Including digital media, which is attention and movies and streaming, and like the Zoom call, which was also clicked on upon a URL. And
Absolutely.
we track every URL, which is the internet is just a collection of URLs. It's nothing more than that, right? Literally, right? So we track that just like Google tracks the same thing, except they track for other reasons. And we have a tree that's not tracked for what they do. We track it because we want to know who clicks on them and who creates these things. And it's about the creator economy, you know? So what is an NFT is, so first a few things. What will happen first is you saw the current system, which is making normal commerce happen, you know, normal things.
Sure.
The next thing will happen is you make a purchase, and let's say you buy a t-shirt, you'll be able to immediately also, after you purchase that, immediately also buy the NFT version of it. Okay. And or mint it and put it into your own gallery.
Sure. Okay.
For free or almost free, just pay the gas fees, right? So this is what I call an NFT, where, you know, you can do that with normal products coming in. And this will also flip over, where instead of you buying the t-shirt, you actually buy the NFT of the t-shirt and you get the t-shirt for free.
Sure.
Right? And that now, importantly, we actually track who bought it. So the fact that it's your NFT versus Tracy's NFT versus my NFT, people will want your NFT. No one cares about my NFT. But the minute you buy it and you publish it, you know, it's so as you do things and now you buy stuff, instantly you're creating that, you know, who bought it and who wants to buy the digital copy or the used version of it, you know, the shoes or whatever. So now what I'm talking about is the authenticity layer, you know, the custody layer, and we don't have to do custody. What we have to do is track the people who do custody. You do custody. I just want to know that you do custody, you know? So we're just the meta layer, you know, that tracks who's doing what and making sure that the buyer and seller have the data they need and a transactional system to do it, and everybody else who made that happen get paid. Right?
And if I can interject something, the way I see it in the creator market, as we get rid of cookies and we get rid of everything, knowing who your fans are and who your super fans are and how to touch that market, I think that's part of what I see this is. And it's not that one micro influencer. It's really a group of people who go out and talk about your, you know, a creator's work and how excited they're about it. And as they get rid of all of the tracking and the cookies, people are actively opting in to let you know they're interested, because they're actually getting to create with you and create value around your product too. So that's sort of, to me, from a creative perspective, there's the IP piece, but there's also a way to bring the fans back in. And right now things have become so expensive, the fans are left out, if that makes sense. And I feel like this is a way to bring them back in. And I do like what Joe's doing. What did y'all call it? The creator, create to earn.
Create to earn. Yeah.
And I think all of this, it's create to earn for all stakeholders, and it gets people excited.
Yeah, it's user generated content, but they're, they come in, as I was telling me earlier, part of what we do with content is we create context. And
Right.
so people have an understanding, that now we have a way in, an emotional way in to engage with this commerce in some way that it provides them a benefit. The benefit being, I want to be creative and I want to express and I want to have fun and I want to make money doing it.
And when I shake down my parents, they want to make money. So when I start my Nifty store, because I did create to earn, I could go through Amit and go, you have to buy this, Uncle Joe.
Yeah, that's right.
And you're like, fine, I'll pass this along and I'll get something out of it without truly having to buy.
Instead of popcorn or jewelry, you'll buy an NFT.
Well, but you'll also have a reason to share it with everybody, so that when you're putting it out there, it's not the candy bar, it's not the cookie, it's actually everybody create to earn, but now they have their own marketing agency that is accessible. And that's sort of what I like about it, because of course people are going to buy Joe. People know Joe. We know your stuff. We love your stuff, but people are not going to buy the new people so easily. And it's not like they could go on The Voice or American Idol. This is their on-ramp. And I feel like there's a two-part piece to create to earn. How do we make it easier for them to get their stuff out too? And I think that's the piece Amit brings to it.
It's very interesting, just what's crystallizing the idea that there could be a way for, like, I'm just going to use Adam's for a second, there, and it's a half a thought, but it's, my model of this is that we're building the yellow brick road to the metaverse here, and we're just laying one brick at a time, and we're looking for people that are laying the same sort of bricks as us, and we're all building it together on this road. And so it's like, it's one brick at a time, one piece at a time, one piece of context at a time, eating the elephant one bite at a time. And to mix my metaphor,
It's a good one.
Yeah, the idea that there would be because in a metaverse, in theory, you'd be inside a virtual world. There's rules and context. There's the illusion of control, right? We send you in a door, you go, you screw around inside an open world, and then you go out a different door. And we in between those two things, you think you have agency, but we're actually directing you to, you're on a directed journey in a story or in a game. And along that way, in a metaverse that's connected in with products and services like this, there could be a fun way for what you've got for product integration into, let's say we're doing a treasure hunt, and I'll just tell you one of our projects is a digital pirate. It's called Bit Pirates. You're a digital pirate and you're on the internet and we're hiding cryptocurrency and you're solving puzzles and you're doing all this stuff. There's no reason you couldn't open a treasure chest. No reason you couldn't open a treasure chest and you say, guess what? You win. You got one hundredth of a Bitcoin, and you got 20% off of Adam's thing, and just click this and you'll just get a free sample, or click this and you can have a portion of the Bitcoin you just won, and you can put it against this. And I'm not saying it's the greatest model in the world. I'm just always thinking, like, I'm thinking these days about, like, what is that level of a, it's what in a story we call it a dilemma, and we don't mean it in a bad way. It's like a character's put into a situation where they have to make a decision, and it can be, they have to weigh the pros and cons of something against their values and against something that they're resonating, and they have to make a choice. And so that's engagement, and so if you're presenting a value proposition to someone and they've won something, so the dopamine goes off because they've won something, and then you tell them, and half of that is how you present it. It goes super rare.
Yeah.
And the thing you want is no different than, physically, or in its ones and zeros, any different than the other thing that was going to be in the other chest. It's just the presentation and the sense of it. But in the case of like Bit Pirates, it would be actual cryptocurrency that you could be discovering. There's a value there, and it's all of that perceived value, right? Oh my gosh, I got a piece of ETH. The way that could connect to a creator economy because the other part of this, what's happening culturally, is who's putting value in, who's extracting value, who am I giving my value to. So you can put out, hey, we're gonna sprinkle out a bunch of fun little mom and pop things that are fun, and you can support other creators making cool stuff that's out there. This isn't going to be like going to Target and getting the L'Oreal. You're going to get Adams, and here's a little something about Adams, and this is here's a list of 500 companies that we decided we like, and we're going to pepper them through this. And it's not it's not product placement. It's like we're supporting other creators. And guess what? If you like their stuff, that's awesome. And guess what? If you like their stuff and you even want to tell people that you like it, like there's just a lot of ways into what you're doing that hit the ethos that this current audience is connected into. Just in talking about the audience that's active right now, and the ethos is this is a democratization. There is an opportunity here for a reset to a certain degree of a power structure, of a value chain. It's not totally democratic where it's open to anybody, because you do have to have money to come in. It's not like it's the panacea for end all be all, because you have to be capitalized to come and play. So it's not as altruistic as
it's the same money that money is neither created nor destroyed. It just keeps moving around,
exactly. And so that's just what started to crystallize. I mean, but that's a very layer one, V.1 of a way I can see just in the early, looking for all the early ways we can sort of start to introduce the idea of what you're doing. And I can see why people would say you're trying to boil the ocean. I do get what you're doing. I totally get what you're doing.
But Joe, let's talk Gen C. This is the conversation I always come back to you with. YouTube was based on Gen C, and where media and where I think creatives are having a little bit of rub. We have a group that likes to curate, create, and share, communicate.
Totally.
And I see, as we look at gaming and how it's moving, or whether it's the metaverse, part of that creative, think about the mastermind in which we met in, and how much fluff comes out of there that gets paid for. I mean, it stuns the mind when I see people just put up a website. I'm a coach. I've never had a business. I've never done anything, but it's awesome. It's a creator, communicator, curator economy. And as we go to a economy that by 2027, they've moved it from 2028 because of COVID, 70% of the workforce is going to be part of this creator economy, and they want to be seen and heard. So what I see is, I understand there's phase one and there's the game and there's the treasure hunt, but the really opportunity is this to create to earn around, people having an entryway into create and to earn and communicate wherever they come in that, whether they curate, like you said, they like what somebody's made in their platform that you've gone into. And they can curate what they like and go around and pick up things, or they could create, or they can communicate, is where I see Amit's piece come in, because they have this real need to share and not keep it walled in. And that's why you see them bouncing from TikTok to Facebook to, the next big thing, is because they have this real need to not be walled. And I just feel like I don't know what it is, because you two are the smart ones on this call, but there's some way that the two of this fits together. Maybe not,
I think it's self-expression and self-expression and social currency. And not it is status to a degree, but it's a status that says, this is a defining trait of my digital identity. And so as I'm crafting a digital identity, these are the things that I stand for, and these are the things and that digital identity might be different than me as a person, but it's my fantasy version of myself.
Right.
And so this fantasy version is, wears rhinestone cowboy boots and sunglasses, and has wings. That's fine, and then also,
it goes down to the very basic level of, in every dream, you're a different person. So it's really it's that simple. So our virtualization of business, which is what I said, I learned in Staples, I can make money on other person's business because I can virtualize it. Means also that I am virtual. I'm virtual. I'm a virtual person. So the basic protocol is awake me, awake market, awake money. You saw awake market, awake money. Awake me is the login protocol. Who is logging in? Me. I'm logging in and I'm always me, regardless of what is on LinkedIn or Facebook or whatever, right? And that's all avatars. And I can actually create lots of them now. And they're all got IDs that are all backed by Awake wallets, right? Awake IDs. And they're all NFTs, effectively, non-fungible, income generating, assets on the internet, which should be classified as securities, perhaps. Just joking, right? So because it starts to generate money, right? And it's an income generating asset. So then you go into that. So you have to be able to model that reality, right?
100%, 100%. And we're right there at the beginning of understanding that's what Web 2.0 built or created the opportunity for. Kind of got it wrong, and it's been very kind of just two rocks being knocked together compared to what Web3 is offering us now is actual store of value, actual capture and track of the commerce, right, and of that exchange between the two parties, and the accepted kind of cultural understanding and milieu of a virtual identity.
Totally.
That's the expected aspect. The bug is now a feature that
Totally.
I don't know who this person
and
is.
now you're coming back to it full circle. Your IP, Scooby-Doo, and everything else are exactly people, avatars, that have full lives on the internet and in every metaverse.
Absolutely.
That's the opportunity that I saw when you started to talk, and you said, you're building a metaverse native studio.
And that's what now all of a sudden that virtual character, that virtual IP can go, and like that becomes, this I'm following this chain of thought, or this chain of discussion that's in the space right now about a meme chain or a meme train of, and I never really understood it in this context, but a meme, a meme isn't a Facebook thing that gets sent around by my uncle. A meme is a signifier that everyone understands, like the American flag. That's a meme that stands for something, right? Now, when Kid Rock wears the American flag on a pair of shorts that he goes and rocks at a concert, that's another layer in the meme. That the meme has spawned fan fiction, what your sons are doing, fan fiction. That's another generation of an IP or of a meme, of a symbol of understanding that has a certain cachet around it, positive, negative, whatever. But the value of an IP in this new space is partially defined by the degree of times that it's repurposed, fan fictioned, repackaged, and it becomes the new signifiers and the new cultural touchstones. It's the new version of Mickey Mouse ears or Mickey on my t-shirt.
100%.
I'm fascinated by that concept.
And get this, I'll tell you even more. I think this might blow your mind. It blew my mind. And I was like, damn, I can, So like the other side of NFT is, the digital divide today is crypto aware versus crypto unaware,
Yeah.
So it's like bonkers. No one can understand crypto. What the heck's going on with Web3 and all that,
Right.
So NFT and unminted.
Yeah.
Any digital media that you saw today, which you share on Facebook or whatever, has a little button that says share, or now it says co-sell, right?
Yep.
It can say, unmint, or like, whatever.
Yeah, right.
Okay.
Sure.
So if you like, somebody's share,
yeah,
and you're the first person, you unmint it.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
And it basically goes to the unminted marketplace,
where
people who are web aware, Web3 aware, can basically, mint it and sell it. And it's about the whole chain. The chain is important.
Yeah.
And everybody gets paid. The person who unminted it becomes the creator.
Very interesting. Very interesting. Now that is interesting, because that's where the value proposition is.
100%. We are just the connector of the creator or the maker and the co-seller. Maker and creator are same things. Whether you make a product or you make digital content, same thing. And if you make an NFT, also same thing.
Yep.
That's it. Maker and creator are same. Therefore, the whole thing comes full circle. Everyone's a co-seller and a maker, because I'm creating NFTs when I do anything online.
Yeah. I move my finger over the button and I push it. I did an action, and I'm part of the process.
Yes.
This is fascinating. I do have to run.
Me
This
too.
is fascinating. I just have time. I do not have time for this call. I did not have
Yeah.
time for this call, but I'm glad that we talked because it was
And I'm
fantastic.
so glad that I got the two of you together because I know that there's something eventually that's going to come out of this.
No,
Thank you.
I
Appreciate
can't wait to
that,
talk to you
Tracy.
again. I mean, this is
Let's talk
fascinating
soon.
discussion. Yeah, let's talk soon.
Let's talk as soon as we can. I'm looking
Let's
forward
talk
to it. Let's
on,
get to
Friday.
reality because I'd like to get started. Let's make
Yeah.
money. I need money. Everybody needs money to like
Yeah.
flesh this out. And so let's just generate capital from customers, you know?
Yeah, let's talk on Friday. If you've got
Yeah.
some time on Friday, let's
I'll
connect
make
and
time. Let's
I've
make
got
it
a little
happen.
time.
Yeah, and
probably
send me
in the
a
afternoon.
link because also I may have somebody want y'all decide what you're doing who may invest on both of you.
Okay. So
Joe loves that.
I'm raising money like right now. Oh my God.
Okay.
I mean, well, you know, I will say, you know, I don't want to say it, but we got some hot people looking at us. We have a little bit of buzz. We have the tiniest amount of buzz right now.
Give me a break.
But yeah, exactly. I know they're just going to break my heart and leave me at home
It's
on Saturday night.
fantastic.
Yeah,
It was
well,
great to meet you, Joe. I was telling Tracy that, you know, I grew up in India, but everybody, I grew up with Scooby-Doo. Like, I know what it is, right? Like, everybody
That's
grew up with
amazing.
Scooby-Doo, right?
That's
And
amazing.
I didn't have any like cultural context about it until I got here, that it's such a big
Yeah.
deal or whatever. Like, to me, it was like, you know, one of those cool things.
Yeah.
But everybody knows it. I mean, it's like a big deal. So
Yeah.
it's cool to
Thomas
meet you.
the Tank Engine.
Yeah, all of these things, right? Like, these are like, you know,
Yeah.
classics.
Well, you know what? I'll just leave it with this. This is the key is, you know, and I think it's the other thing that we're leaning into and what we really think we're going to create value is how do we, and we mean this in a really positive way, how do we engineer emotion? How do we, you know, we program emotion? We get you to care about this virtual
Yes.
character, and then we show you something in them that reflects some aspect of you that's human, and then we present that dilemma to you, and you struggle
Totally.
with this person, and it's a mirror of your own emotional life, and that
Totally.
Is this
And
like
you
book club
made it.
tonight?
You
Eat
made
the
it.
pizza, not eat the pizza.
You made it very nuanced, right? Like we talk about just a desire engine, you know.
Yes.
We generate desire.
Yeah.
You know, we want people to buy things, you know. So people are like basically creating desire.
Yeah.
Specifically, you know.
That's right.
And you're talking about all the emotions, which is
all the
a full
emotions.
service. Yeah.
That's right. All the emotions, and so that then when they want to feel something again, they have a knowing tone. I want to feel like that again. I want to go watch Star Wars or Scooby-Doo again because I want to feel like a kid again. That's what I want.
Totally.
You know, and that's
Totally.
you know, I think where we connect people beyond the intellect is to the emotion. Where we
That's right.
do a service to their customers and our consumers and our audience is by pushing them value and making them feel things and making them, you know, I'm trying to put the virtue into virtual. You know, if there's a way to have virtue come into virtual, then there's something there that's stickier.
I think it's basically aligning everybody and making it, you know, friction free. That's what we've done.
That's what it is. A real pleasure. And Tracy,
thank you, sir. Appreciate your time, and thank you, Tracy, for making this happen.
We'll talk soon. And
Yeah.
Amit, send me the deck I can share with him, and I will send everything to Joe.
I will do so. Thank you.
I'll send you an updated creative deck, Tracy.
Okay.
I look forward to that too. If you don't mind, if I could see it.
I'll send it to you. You bet.
Thank you.
Okay.
Appreciate it.
Thank you, guys.
Yeah, I'll send it to you both, actually.
Excellent.
Thank you.
Talk soon.
Bye.
Bye-bye.